In the last hour on Africa Have Your Say, we heard two very moving conversations between women in different cultures who are dealing with issues surrounding being widowed. And we're going to hear now from two women who lost their husbands in very different ways. Isabella is in Nairobi. Isabella, I'd like to introduce you to Michelle, who's joining us from San Diego in the US.
Hi, Isabella. It's nice to meet you.
Welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
Could you start off by telling us what happened to you?
Oh, well, I had just gotten married at 23 years, and after a while, my husband started having problems with his stomach, and they told us it was ulcers, duodenal ulcers. And in like a week or so, the whole story changed, and he was told this is colon cancer. So we went through the process of counseling, because now we're told it's in stage 4. There's not much the doctors could do. You're young couples, you have a newborn baby, so you have to hold on tight. But that was in June 2005. So August, September, and October, he passed on. So it was quite sudden and shocking, and it left us in tatters. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened. What happened to you, Michelle?
Well, we lost our husbands at a very similar time. My husband died on August 31st of 2005. And
Wow.
So I feel like we started walking on this road at the same time, Isabella. My husband went out for his evening bicycle ride. He went on a bike ride every evening, and he had a friend that he went with on Wednesday nights, and so he headed out for his bike ride and got about 3 miles away from our home and was hit from behind by a large car. He was 39, I was 35, and actually it was our second marriage. We had both been previously in relationships, and so we had been married just barely 5 years when he died. So he was hit by the car, and then within the hour he died from the injuries in the car accident. And like you said, our life was in tatters. I had no idea. Really, the idea of being widowed was so foreign to me. I kind of felt like I didn't even know where to start, except for that my heart hurt so much.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting how death becomes a story when you just hear it from somebody else. When it knocks at your doorstep,
Yes.
it becomes reality.
Yes. And the reality of, your time went by so quickly. You had already had your baby by the time your husband was diagnosed?
Yeah, in fact, it was like as if we just hopped from the maternity and into the cancer ward.
Yeah, I bet.
Kind of.
And did you have
So-
any family support? Was your family around you at that time?
Yeah, everybody was pretty much around each other.
Mm-hmm.
But now everybody in their thoughts, what's this?
Right.
How did it happen?
Yeah.
People asking, did you stress him?
Oh.
So it's everybody is around you, but suppose you don't know, because everybody's trying to get it right within their own emotions. It's like an emotional tide passing through all of you. Everybody, the mom is trying to wonder what's happening to my son, because my mom is trying to wonder why is this happening to my daughter.
Right.
And so that brings a clash or conflict of interest as such. So
Which continues.
you can say, yes, people are, you can say people are around you,
Yes.
but everybody's fighting their own battle emotionally. I don't know how it is there in San Diego.
It was difficult because it was so shocking. And so, really one of the hardest things for me to do was to call his children. He had 3 kids and I have 3 kids. So we had 6 between the two of us, and none of the kids knew. And so suddenly I realized, it was my job to drop this bombshell information on everyone who loved him, starting at the hardest part with the children, and then, to tell his mother and to tell his brothers and to tell our friends. And, it just seemed like this endless list of people who had to be notified. And I kept every time I would pick up the phone, I felt like I had this fireball and I was going to toss it in their lap. And then the explosion would happen, because then they would have their emotional reaction. And already I was reeling. So it just felt like every time I picked up the phone to call somebody else, as I'm sitting next to his dead body, I'm thinking, I can't, I can't believe I'm doing this. And at the same time, I didn't want to rob anyone of the opportunity to see him if it was going to help, them, but particularly, of course, the kids and his parents. So, it just seems like what you said is so true, that everyone's fighting their own battle with their own grief. And so each time I faced a new person, that was their reaction, and then it continued to be their reaction. Even, as we all started our own grieving process, we were sort of in the same boat, but we all felt like we were rowing in different directions.
It's interesting. You mentioned that you sat next to your dead husband's body. They allow that?
They did allow that. I have found out that I was fortunate in that way. I guess you'll understand what I mean when I say I'm fortunate. I know a lot of people who lost their loved ones in accidents and who were not able to see or be with them. I was, and it's not actually always the case here in the U.S. that you would definitely be in the ambulance or in the emergency room. I was very lucky. Someone from the scene of the accident called me, and so I got to the accident scene before the emergency vehicles came, and so they just packed me up in the emergency vehicle with him, and we both drove to the hospital. And then he actually, his heart stopped in the emergency bay, like in the place where you would park the car. His heart stopped there, so I was able to go in with him. There was some debate as to whether or not I would be able to, but they eventually allowed it. And I was so grateful to have the opportunity, mostly because I didn't want him to be alone. Like, I just kept thinking, I don't want you to be alone. And so, when they said to me, do you want to go? There was no hesitation. I wanted to go because I wanted to sit by him and to, be as close as I could be, even as my whole body's thinking, this can't be possibly happening. Like, they must be wrong. He can't possibly be dying right now. Were you not able to be with your husband?
Oh, sorry for that. Yeah. I was with him throughout. I would go very early in the morning because it reached a point he needed somebody to clean him up. So, but when he was passing through the other side of the world, I don't say he died. I said he passed on, because I don't think, as you say, you don't want to believe that he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was there with him throughout. I was lucky as you were to be there at that point.
Oh, you were
so
there.
So the nurses couldn't do much.
Right. Yeah.
Because So
did you find the same thing I did? Like, it was so clear to me that he wasn't in his body anymore. Like, from one minute to the next, and I don't know that I was able to be aware of that right that minute, but upon reflection, I can see. I just remember thinking, he's not there. Like, his color completely changed. Everything about him changed, except for that the shell looked the same, but it was so clearly not him in his body anymore. I think that was the first time where I thought, this actually really is going to happen. Like, he really isn't coming back, because it was something I've never. I mean, I guess I've heard people say that people who've passed on look different, but to see it myself was incredible. I was shocked by the difference in a short period of time. Like, in moments, it felt like.
Yeah, you felt like. Then I think everybody shares that experience. You touch them and it's like a shock.
Oh, it was a shock. Yeah. Yeah.
You completely get scared. Is this the same person I knew?
Well, and then the goodbye, then the goodbye it's like, wait, no, you can't be gone yet. Don't go yet.
Hold on.
Hold on. I don't know. I don't even know what else I wanted to say. I just remember thinking, no, you can't be gone yet. Not yet, not yet, not yet.